Because I can shop this.
Recording now and playing on 3. 1, 2, and 3.
I wasn't going to do this one, but I decided I need to. New music. These are the confessions of a band geek. Time to get personal. If I could, I'd probably do things differently. These are the confessions of a band geek. Reminiscing, thinking how I got to where I'm at. Throwback before I even learned how to rap. Tell my story kinda sorta like my diary. These are the confessions of a band geek. Music molded me and made me, me. If I could, I'd probably do things differently. I used to only take my horn home once a week. These are the confessions of a band geek. 5th grade, I remember it like yesterday. I saw the band and decided I wanted to play. I tried the trombone and the sax, but that wasn't fun. I always had rhythm, so I wanted to play the drums. But ain't nothing happening, I guess it was too late. I decided I ain't want to play them anyway. Then the director told... Then the director told me to give the cornet a try. Handed it to me and told me to try to make a sound. Watching the hands to make sure I had the form down. Couple people staring, so I'm not trying to look stupid now. Played it so loud, I had everyone looking around. From that moment, I decided it was on. 5th and 6th grade passed, I was still going strong. 7th grade, my folks were glad I was serious about something. Moms took me up to Sadler's and bought me my own trumpet. For real. Before I even learned how to rap. Tell my story kinda sorta like my diary. These are the confessions of a band geek. Music molded me and made me, me. If I could, I'd probably do things differently. I used to only take my horn home once a week. 8th grade at Waldo, everything switched. That's when I met Mr. Conrad and Mr. Tripp. New beginnings, never seen nothing like this. Private school to public school, I had to get a grip. Met a gang of homies that I loved like my brothers. Straight clowning up in class, couldn't tell us nothing. Walked to school every day with Louis Sotero. Was taken way too soon, we'll see you again though. Freshman year at East High, man, it flew by. Still all up in my shell, I was super shy. Was cool with all the jocks, cause my brother Hoop, my cousins Treese and Ann had me plugged with all the ladies too. Sophomore year, it felt like having pep band. Playing in the stands, drunk off 211. At the games, me and Vernon used to wild out. And all my fellow band geeks know what I'm talking about. Straight up. Before I even learned how to rap. These are the confessions of a band geek. Music molded me and made me, me. If I could, I'd probably do things differently. I used to only take my horn home once a week. The year was when I started skipping class. My mom had found out, I guarantee she kicked me. Did football one year and also did track. I threw the shot put in the disc, but really I was whack. Playing the trumpet was the only thing I stuck with. And that was only because my moms wouldn't let me quit. Hardly took my horn home, being lazy, I was good, and that's what drove Mr. Kazi's shot crazy. Can't forget the day he told me he was disappointed, said I could have done something with the music if I wanted. And Walton is a parade marching, that's what my vision to be, and an artist really got started. But everything I know now, I wish I knew it then. I would have realized this music is my calling. So all the shorties coming up, remember no matter what, time is precious, don't waste it, no stalling, go all in. Throwback before I even learned how to rap. Tell my story kinda sorta like my diary. These are the confessions of a band geek. Music molded me and made me, me. And if I could, I'd probably do things differently. I used to only take my horn home once a week. These are the confessions of a band geek.
Rise and shine. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and tune in to Good Morning Aurora. News, weather, and really cool interviews. Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m.
means a whole hell of a difference. It means the difference between getting it and not getting it, capturing it and not capturing it. The shot, the cut, all of that. Shout out, Monica. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora.
Good morning, Aurora.
The time is now 8 a.m. and you are listening to Jenettesplaining on Good Morning, Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast.
Right, you look a little tired. A little tie today.
There is no such thing as tired. I'm happy because those claps.
From our live in-studio audience.
Those claps were for you at home. They're for us. We appreciate that. But they are claps for the world. That's what they are. It's Friday. We all made it to our collective weekend here. We hope that you guys are doing good. How you feeling today?
I'm good. I'm good. I got the rest of the day off today, so that's
word up.
Yeah.
Good.
Errands to run, doctor's appointments, these boring things, but you know.
How many of y'all got the
not being
got
at
the
work
day
is
off?
not being at work, right?
If any of you guys have the day off, let us know in the chat. But also, let's keep it moving. Let us know how you're doing in the chat today with an emoji.
Right.
Put that in there.
You can always tell that it's my day off because I'm wearing my Aurora AF t-shirt, right? Which is not generally off appropriate, is what they tell me.
That'll get you sent to HR.
It's like going to the dean's office back at West Aurora. I can't tell you how many times I got called down to the dean's office for inappropriate clothing.
And here we are.
Here we are. Turns out,
Keeping
for
it
any
alive.
high schoolers listening, your permanent record is not a real thing. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, don't let them
Get to
don't
college.
let them shake you.
So long as you get to college, man, it doesn't matter. And they don't really pay attention to that. They just want to know you know like calculus or whatever. It's fine.
All right. So we got some things to go over today. We got stuff to chop up, and we've got a holiday cheer for you as well. Oh my goodness, Ben Geller, what's up? Maria Chirito, Norma Peterson, good morning, Gams, fam.
Good
Deb
morning.
Sturgis, Jennifer Ryan Mayton.
And I'm gonna keep up on the feed today. I'm not multitasking with the social media and the talking at the same time is not me. I'm gonna go for it. I think I can do it. Okay. We'll see.
So first things first, we've got a number of activities for the weekend.
Oh my God! This weekend, look, guys, winter is coming. It's getting cold and awful out, but we have so many things for you to do in Aurora this week to make you try and believe that is not just a horrible, awful thing, and that the next 4 months are going to be terrible. So the first thing is the city's Winter Lights celebration, which is happening tonight in downtown Aurora. It starts at 6 p.m. It is a free family event, and it's on Downer Place from Broadway to River Street. And if your car is parked in downtown Aurora right now, look for the signs, because you got to move it at 1 o'clock or they will tow you.
Okay.
So just FYI, this is like every parade year. There's always someone like got drunk and left their car downtown and whatever, and that's fine. But you got to go get it before 1 o'clock. So, because they got parades, they got kids, you can't be driving through there, right? So, But they do the parade, which steps off at 6:30, and it's there's 20 units in the parade, and they light up all of the floats and stuff. It's really cute, and they have the people in costumes, and they'll do the winner of the 2021 Winter Lights window decorating contest with all the downtown businesses. They've got DJ Swabby Smooth there. Santa and Mrs. Claus are flying in from the North Pole. We're gonna light the tree, and there's fireworks, of course. Best viewing is from the East Downer Place Bridge, so FYI for that. And then Santa and Mrs. Claus will be at Wickwood House from 7:30 to 9 p.m. To take pictures.
Where are the fireworks being lit from?
They are lit over the river on south of downtown.
Okay.
So I think it's like the ComEd or like the that scrubland down there, like from that property, because they got to light them off from where no one can get to them.
Right. Okay.
But so I think if you want to be on the Downer Place Bridge, I don't know, but it says right here beyond the Downer Place Bridge. So,
Okay.
and that's the inside info. So East Downer Place Bridge is where you want to look at them from. And then the thing that the organizers, shout out to the special events team, City of Aurora.
Mike Nelson, what up?
That's right. The thing that they are most excited for, singing porta potties. So look for that. They're called Jingle Johns.
Mad corny.
I
Mad
saw the video of what the Jingle Johns look like. And so if you are looking for an experience this evening, unlike any you've ever had when you've needed to pee outside at a show or something, downtown Aurora tonight, it'll be right just west of Charlie's Creamery on Stolp Avenue.
All
so
right.
Jingle Johns. It looks really impressive, guys.
That's very cool. So and starts at 6. 6 to 9?
It starts at 6. Parade stops off at 6:30. Don't be one of those people who tries to show up at like 6:25 to go to the parade. Don't do that. Just like be there around 6. Wear all your layers. It's cold out there. Like just layers, guys, layers. So it's super fun. And then afterwards, you see a bunch of people at all of the bars and social clubs dressed up in their costumes still because everyone was freezing cold and they decided to go warm up in the bars all day. So
well, that's very cool. So we hope that if you guys are going out there
part.
tonight, peep it out, check it out. Shouts out. Now we've also got a story. Didn't that bleed into the Cocoa Crawl joint?
Well, so Cocoa Crawl is we're not even there yet because we got
That's
so
for Friday,
many.
yeah.
That's next. Like that's the 3rd. So we're not even there. We're like, guys, there's more stuff this week coming. There's so much more stuff. So tomorrow, so we've got tonight, we've got Winter Lights. Tomorrow is the Tomahawk Turkey Trot 5K, which is an unfortunate name. So they're trying to like meld the Tomcats and the Blackhawks, and it's a little cringy. But the Turkey Trot, let's just call it that, is a great fundraiser for both the East and West Aurora school districts, education foundations, which kind of give the extra supplies and stuff to the teachers. And scholarships and things like that to kids. So 2 great organizations. The route, the 5K route that they're doing on Saturday morning is right along the river. So it'll be a really pretty run, and then you finish the run crossing the bridge, like the new pedestrian footbridge, and then I think you can get a beer afterwards. So yeah, you get a draft beer or non-alcoholic beverage at Two Brothers Roundhouse during the post-race celebration where they give out the medals and stuff like that. So like, give some money to the kids. Go have a fun run, get the shirt, you get a beer, like, come on, that's a pretty good morning. So registration is still open. You can register day of the event. We'll put the link or whatever in there. It's cheaper if you do it today, I think, and then you pick up packets tonight or tomorrow morning. So
very cool.
Yeah.
Shouts out to our friends of the AEEF and the A+ Foundation.
That's right.
Representing Aurora's East Side District 131 and West 129. They are a tax-exempt, non-for-profit corporation directed and governed by a volunteer board of private citizens. Awesome people. Now, it's 460 registrants thus far.
Yeah, so there you go.
Dang.
Knock $30 off your taxes, too, while you're at it.
Shout out, yeah. It's cheaper to keep her. Okay.
So, so we got that. We got Friday. We got Saturday. So what's happening Sunday? Sunday! Sunday.
Right.
Monster truck. No, it's not a monster truck rally. It's an interfaith community Thanksgiving service.
Ah, yes.
I know.
Not to be confused with the monster truck rally.
Not to be confused with the monster truck rally, which if we could combine those, A, it would be the most American thing ever, and B, like, I would go. Would you not go to that? I would go to that.
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't go to a monster truck rally that was also an interfaith Thanksgiving service? I like just a feature to add.
Shouts out on the news, though. I got you with the shouts out on the news all day. Oh, Lord. You know what? Hit the clap button. Bianca Camargo is here. Alyssa O'Connell. and Barrero.
All right. Okay. So, Interfaith Thanksgiving. This is an event that I really love that the city has been doing for, not the city, but faith-based organizations in the city have been doing for, this is the 14th year. And every year a different organization hosts it, but they get together and they have a big Thanksgiving celebration. So if you are just beaten down by a world where everyone is just screaming at each other all the time and no one can get along, and like we've all forgotten who we are, like as a culture, right, of just people who think differently but can get together, right, on stuff, and just kind of love each other. This is a great event for you. So it's happening this Sunday from 3 to 5 at St. John's A&E Church, which is the really big church out on Bilter Road. It's the first Black congregation outside of Chicago, so which is cool. And it's huge. And they will the service and all of that will include churches and faith communities from all over, from like. So we've got Methodists, we've got the Sikh community, St. Joseph's Catholic Church will be there, Temple B'nai Israel, the Orchard community, Hala, that's my home crew, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, right? So the Mormon Church, the other Jewish congregation, because when you have the joke that they once told me when the new Jewish congregation in town started was, if you have 3 Jews, you have 2 synagogues, right? Because they like to like splinter over different like everyone's got their own belief of like, no, here's how we interpret this little weird scripture, and then they're like, this is how we interpret our weird little scripture. Anyway, yeah, thanks. Okay, anyway. So the New England Congregational Baha'i, the Baha'i community, and Al-Aqsa, I can't pronounce it, the mosque in town, Al-Aqsa, the Muslim community. Thank you.
According to reports, this looks like it'll be a absolutely fantastic event.
Yeah.
Shouts out to a great community for putting this together.
Yes, it'll be really great. Go to it, feel enlivened and enriched. And, you know, if your family fights at Thanksgiving and you need like a Thanksgiving that doesn't suck, like go to this.
Word up.
Yeah.
The time is now 8:12 a.m. and you are listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. We made it, and so did you. Monica, if you would be so kind, please take us to a commercial. Let us know what's happening on a local tip.
Good morning and happy Friday. Here are your local headlines. Don't forget to please subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date on all of our content. There you can also watch all of our interviews and receive notifications when we go live. I'll be sharing that link with you all in our chat. Tomorrow, there will be a Know Your Rights Forum from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Sacred Heart Church, located at 755 Fulton Street. Representatives from Family Focus, the LCLAA, and World Relief will be there to answer questions regarding immigration. Hosted by State Representative Barbara Hernandez, Alderwoman Juany Garza, and our friends Ana and Casildo Cuevas. Registration is required for this helpful event. You can call 630-256-3020 to do so. A vendor show supporting the Oswego Legion will be taking place this Saturday from noon to 5 p.m. at 19 West Washington Street in Oswego. Support local businesses and have a great time. For more information, you can visit the Aurora Valley Times website that I'll be sharing with you all in our chats. Monday the 22nd will be the Aurora Community Youth Friendsgiving, hosted at Alive Aurora, 78 South LaSalle Street. This is a free event from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., which will feature food and great guest speakers, Judge Bianca Camargo and Sandra Harrison of Leaders in Transformational Education. The flyer will be shared to our social media.
Right, that's right. Thank you very much. Give us a round of applause for the whole world and that absolutely great news. That's wonderful. Let's look before we get into the police and the body cameras and all that. Let's do. Where were we going next? Was it the Cocoa Crawl?
You want to do
joint?
Cocoa Crawl?
I
We
want
can
to
do
talk
Cocoa
about
Crawl.
the Cocoa Crawl.
Yeah.
People get their mugs
You gotta get the mug.
and hit the the big joint.
So yes, third annual Cocoa Crawl is on December 3rd. It's the final first Friday of the year. You get cocoa or some other chocolate thing, right, as you go to the different participating businesses.
Right, so it's not just hot cocoa at each location.
It's not just, no, it's like cocoa and cocoa adjacent things, right? There's some vegan options. There's like all kinds of like, so you get the mug and you get a button, and the button for like $15, and then you like the button is kind of like your ticket that you can go around to all of the different businesses, and they've all got different takes on what cocoa is. Mexican hot cocoa is kind of, or hot chocolate is kind of like a big thing, right? So there's all kinds of stuff. So you can go. And it says, some venues will offer a hot cocoa drink with alcohol for patrons, for which patrons will pay an additional fee. So if you want to get boozy,
Who?
Ooh, good question. Oh goodness. Okay, I don't know. We'll find out.
We don't know.
We'll follow up.
What you mean follow up?
I will follow up on finding the boozy ones.
It's not in the joint.
It's not in the article. I know. I'm really disappointed with this reporting too.
Now you see that?
I will find.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Look,
do you see that?
Look.
Hold on. Pause that. Hold up. We gotta think about it. In the place where the information is coming from, how could the most this is not the word of the day, but poignant. How could the most poignant piece of information not be in there? Yo, it's a party. What's the address? You know what? I gotta get back to you. What? But anyway.
Okay, wait, you guys. So if you go to Aurora Downtown, .org, they have the magical winter guide, How to Cocoa Crawl. So there's like instructions.
Where is the alcohol?
Where I'm looking for the alcohol.
Where is the Bailey's gonna be?
Oh my goodness.
Look, we'll come back to that. We're not gonna go to another commercial.
Okay, all right, okay. Look, but I do have the locations for you buy the mugs, because you're gonna want to buy the mugs first, because sometimes they sell out.
Yes.
So the mugs you can get at the Aurora Regional Fire Museum, the David L. Pierce Art and History Center, Treadwell, Wickwood House, Renew Salon and Spa, Society 57, Gillerson's, and Super Jumbo. So you get the mug on the button, and then you go around, and then you get the cocoa, and I still am not seeing where the booze is.
No booze. Okay.
Okay, so look, just come prepared with some extra cash on hand or your card or whatever.
Hey, I don't know.
Top off with a little something, little baby something.
I'm not gonna tell nobody what to do. But, where I come from, you get the red Solo cup. I'll be out there anyway. Like, y'all ready? Like the tree dog?
Oh, goodness. We're classier. I feel like Aurora used to be a red Solo cup town. And now we're...
Well, I'm not saying what Good Morning Aurora do. I'm just saying what I've seen out there.
Now we're a fancy mug town.
All right. Karina Suarez Darden, good morning to you. Jen Mendoza, good morning to you as well. McCarty Mills will have Champurrado. Word up. Y'all didn't know I could do the R's. Y'all didn't know that.
I can't.
Y'all heard it.
I can't do the R's.
He can do it. He can roll his R's. Buenos Dias, Aurora, the second largest city's first bilingual news podcast. That's all. Excellent.
But anyway, if you visit the Aurora Downtown's website, they have many listings for all the things happening in winter.
McCarty Mills got Coquito for $5. You know what? Yeah.
There you go.
Word up.
Yeah.
Word up. Okay.
So look,
left ventricle. You got to be in the know to know what we're talking about. That's the low key. That's the under. But look here.
Point is, go get your mug.
Yes.
Be prepared.
Yes.
To get a little to get warm and toasty from the hot cocoa and whatever is going in the cocoa.
Yeah. Word up. That will be it. Now here's the other thing that's interesting, worth, and want to bring it up. Norma Peterson says, let's do a Gams Fam Cocoa Crawl.
Ooh, like we should all meet up at one location? We could do that.
Norma Peterson?
We could do that. I mean, my plan was to be there that night anyway.
Well, no, we
so.
done already missed it this year. We didn't already missed it this year.
We missed it this year? No, we didn't. I'm saying, like, we could just participate in the Cocoa Crawl. Like, we go, and then people just meet us at the same spot. We just meet up.
No, Norma, you was thinking something else, wasn't you? I know what Norma was thinking. Norma was thinking we'll do a GAMS. That's why she used GAMS. GAMS, the Great American Morning. Norma, we're gonna table that. We'll table it.
I'm just saying we could maybe let people know where we're kicking off from at one time on the 3rd.
I mean, anything could happen.
Anything could happen.
And what's next year? 2020. Okay, I am too.
Moving on.
All right, so that is what we told you about the Cocoa Crawl. The time is now 8:20 a.m. You are listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. Judge Cruz, what's up? Good morning to you. Jim Mendoza says yes, and Norman Peterson says, and Dora says, way to go, left ventricle. That's right, the beating heart of River Street. That's what it is.
Right here.
McCarty Mills is the left ventricle. It is the beating. It is the point where all the blood cells are flowing to, right there.
All right, so we got Cocoa Crawl. The one other event, just to throw on your radar, which is happening before the Cocoa Crawl, is the November 30th. I just want to draw attention to this because I think that it's a thing that some of our listeners might be interested in, is November is Homelessness Awareness Month, and the former director of Hassett House, Diane Nyland, will be in town. She used to run the place for years and years and years, and she has now become an advocate all over the country for homelessness issues. She will be talking at the Prisco Center at 1 p.m. on Tuesday, November 30th. So if you would like to learn more about just homelessness issues in town, in the community and the country overall, she's just an amazing person to hear speak on this topic. She was really instrumental in passing the Education for Homeless Children Act in 1994 in Illinois, and federally what's known as the McKinney-Vento Act. And what that does is it helps school districts identify when kids are homeless, because kids in schools don't always look homeless. A lot of times it just looks like they're kind of like, they're not sleeping on the streets so much as they're bouncing from like around relatives' houses and on couches and things like that. And what this act did was mandated that school districts are required to help those kids get back and forth to their home schools, even if they don't have homes in those districts anymore. So it's really, the idea is to really help kids achieve some level of stability in their homes, or in their lives, even if their homes are moved. So it should be a really, really good talk. That's 1 p.m. on November 30th at the Prisco.
Yeah, and the Prisco Center, as it says here, located at 150 West Illinois Avenue. So you guys check it out.
Yeah, that's corner of Illinois and 31.
Illinois and 31.
Yep. Gym is.
Good story.
Yeah.
Good story. All right. We were doing last year, as many of you guys will recall, there was consternation, not the word of the day, but there was consternation about the fact that the Aurora Police Department did not have body cameras. Many listening sessions and other things were created after the rioting here in the city following the murder of George Floyd. And one of the things, if not the thing, that was demanded, and I use that word specifically, it was in the list of demands that many activist groups
signed on to. Yeah, there's petition circulating.
Was the need for all Aurora police officers to have body cameras. And it just so happens that just this week, there is a story in our friendly Beacon News that Aurora police officers will begin wearing body cameras. I'm going to give you the juice right now, and then we'll talk about what I don't think is cool. Buckle up, Buttercup.
Let's go.
All Aurora police officers will begin wearing body cameras in January. Aurora Chief.
We're getting there. In the middle.
That's how y'all know it's going to be good. Like, damn, he messed up as soon as he started talking. All right. All Aurora police officers will begin wearing body cameras in January. Aurora Police Chief Keith Cross said in the last month, 21 officers have been completing final body camera tests as they work with the police IT department and administrators to determine internal procedures before the cameras are rolled out to the entire department. All officers will be trained in the use of body cameras in January. And Mr. Cross said that at a City Council Finance Committee meeting at the end of October. Now listen very closely. Officials had initially predicted that the body cameras would be in use by mid-2021, but there were delays in implementing the technology. Police spokesman Paris Lubell said the department is working with its IT department to ensure the body cameras are integrated with the records and dispatch systems. Collect records and dispatch, right? You can sync with that. Oh, I'm going to 22. Damn, I just gave my whole joint. We're going to 5 East Downer Place. Boom. And okay, we can see where we're going. He says, we want to test it to make sure before we throw all the cameras on the street and something isn't connected properly. The department also had to expand its program from 275 cameras for officers assigned to neighborhood policing and investigative service bureaus to having cameras for all sworn officers. So did you hit that? Could you let us do it again? The department also had to expand its program from 275 cameras for officers assigned to neighborhood policing and investigative service bureaus to having cameras for all sworn police personnel. So the initial deployment, word of the day is deployment.
Oh, okay.
The initial deployment was only for police officers in 2 sections. Now all police will have the cameras. And yet, and this is just an observation, because I've already been seeing the comments. I've been seeing the scuttlebutt. And yet, a lot of people who were saying that we demand cameras and we demand them now, those same people are now coming out of the woodwork saying these cameras aren't nothing. We don't want cameras. We want
qualified immunity.
We want donuts. We want
I do want donuts.
Water.
Wait, can I have donuts?
The shifting of the goalpost. I do too.
Yeah,
the
who doesn't want
shifting
donuts?
of the goalpost at this time is quite disheartening. Because to me personally, these are my words. To me personally, it perfectly encapsulates. Hit him with a second joint. No, give him 2. Give him 2 today. We love him. We love y'all. Give him 2 today. Encapsulates. That perfectly encapsulates that these same people were never in it for the issue. They weren't in it for that. They were just in it to be. They were just
in it to be loud.
They were just in it to be loud. They were just in it to be loud. They were just in it to be loud. That was it.
I mean,
they said we don't want this. We want cameras. Now they got cameras. Who said anything about cameras?
Yeah. So, do you think there's being charitable here? Do you think that there's anything to the we made progress and now we need more progress, right? Argument, like,
of course
right,
there is,
right?
Yeah.
So, like,
I personally didn't want cameras don't matter. I want the end of qualified immunity. That's the only thing I care about.
Right.
I don't care if they get tanks, rockets, and missiles. I just don't want qualified immunity.
Well, we sort of have a tank.
Well, we
have
do.
you been? I've ridden around in the Bearcat, right? That's basically. So at Christmas, sometimes the cops, the Aurora Police Department, at least I've had the chance to ride around with them once to photograph this. They give gifts to some of the kids in the neighborhood that they know that are in need, and Santa rides around in the Bearcat, and that thing is basic. It's a little concerning.
Listen, let me tell you something. Whether it's a tank, a shank, or walking the plank, what I'm saying is that to be effective in what you are trying to do, especially when it addresses the underlying issues that you march on, and you got bottles of water, and you got granola bars, and now you're shutting down the intersection. When you get the win,
Celebrate the win.
celebrate the win.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that
And don't be flip-floppy, because
so there are lots and lots and lots of reasons why.
the time is 8:30 a.m.
There are plenty of very valid reasons why there's an adversarial relationship on the national level, right, between communities of color and police, like law enforcement agencies, right? Totally valid reasons. The question is, do we approach these things? It depends on your perspective, because if you have an abolish the police perspective, then there's not really a collaborative approach to improving law enforcement there, which some people have that perspective, totally valid. But the majority of Americans have a let's reform local law enforcement so that it's working for everybody perspective. And if that's your perspective, if that's where you're coming from, if you're coming from any place other than abolish the police departments, then approaching these conversations like in a collaborative way is going to be a more productive, probably, conversation. So celebrating, we finally got the body cameras. Awesome. What's next? Is the approach to take.
Word up. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what. And Dora Sanchez Soto says it here real well, because those who are louder wanted to be heard, not the majority. So common in communities, we all belong and deserve to be heard. Our community embraces our APD. Ben Geller, we work together to build our neighborhood and support one another. And this is
Josue Pais. When they had the riots, there was a big giant tank. I took a picture. Yes, there was a big giant tank in downtown Aurora. That was the National Guard's tank that came down, and they were like parading.
Sandra White, good morning.
Yes,
Nancy
I remember that.
Ortiz.
I saw that tank.
Nancy Ortiz, good morning, dear friend. How are you? And Tracy Durant, what's up? But look, and then we will, because we got more news to talk about here. Look, I want to say it one more time, and then I'll be done with it. I promise y'all. You guys know how we do. Just passionate. That's all. It's a us thing. Look, you can catch more bees with honey than you can with vinegar. Okay? If you want to make positive, long-lasting change, it really helps if you know A, what you're talking about, and B, how to be a sober-minded and effective communicator despite what the issue may be. That will always stand you in better stead than throwing rocks and yelling in a bullhorn and crumbling like tissue paper when you're asked the basic questions.
Yes.
But that's just me. The time is now 8. What time is it? 8:33? Oh, yeah.
Can we keep going?
No, keep going. Yeah. No, I didn't mean to cut you off.
So I think there's kind of two thrusts here.
Grace Cornell, what up?
One is the perspective and ultimate end goal from which you're coming from, and two is the integrity of how you are engaging in that discourse. So when we're talking about perspective, there are actually rational, like, good people who are on this perspective, on the abolish the police. Like, there are other ways to handle what we call criminality in the country, and there are also very good rational people in the, like, what if we just tweak some things, like not letting them beat people, or qualified immunity, right? So that's a whole spectrum of opinion on what to do about policing, of which I actually fall pretty far over to the extreme, like, there are other countries that don't really handle policing like this at all, and we could maybe explore some of those options. But so that's the what to do about it. Then there's the how do we approach this conversation, and that's a question of, and I think a thing that is the thing that may be really riling you up right now, and this is valid, is like, how are you having integrity when you're coming to this conversation, right? Are you out there throwing water bottles at cops, which, like, when the riot broke out in downtown Aurora, that was the first thing that got lobbed back and forth, right, and happened in a bunch of different communities, right? Or are you bringing water bottles to the discussion to sit down and like figure out, well, how are we fixing it? What's next?
Casildo Cuevas plants a great flag in the conversation, which I will carry that flag, sir, and I'll plant it as well. The grassroots organizations that I was part of demanded cameras and also the qualified immunity subject matter. I haven't heard the negativity from the grassroots organizations of flipping on those two subjects. They want accountability and transparency, which was on the letter of demands. I will research it, see if there was a flip. Well said. Because mind you, even though I said grassroots organization, I was not in any way trying to conflate. Y'all getting a lot of good words today, but I'm not. That's not. Y'all don't get 3. We gave y'all 2. We gave y'all 2. We might do that Monday. Maybe you can have that now, but I was not trying to conflate or besmirch at all.
Besmirch is also good.
Any of the real, true, dyed-in-the-wool community partners like Mr. Cuevas, who's part of the Know Your Rights Forum, actually talking the talk and walking the walk? No. So I apologize if I did mix that up. What I'm saying is that the level of pessimism in certain sectors in the city for an issue that they advocated for is a little bit too high. A little bit too high.
I would also say, wait, I had a thought. Hold on. No, this is really important. Any social justice movement, right? Anytime you're trying to make progress on deeply embedded, deeply ingrained issues in communities or in the national discourse, you need folks who are really who seem really far afield, and you need your centrists, right? That's how organizations move forward. You have your people who are like deeply embedded in the idealism and are keeping those who care about the issue rooted in what you know is right.
Right.
And then you have your more centrist folks in the movement who are more really organized around ideas of, okay, but pragmatically, how do we make the progress? Right. So like the best how I would put this into, if you're talking about another conversation, just to sort of explain it, right? When it comes to animal rights, most people are like, probably you shouldn't treat animals that way in slaughterhouses, right? Like that's a little messed up. Or like in chicken like raising facilities or whatever, like that's a little messed up, and we would like to see more integrity in our food things. But then you also have PETA over here who's like, you should never ride a horse ever, like it's evil. So when you have and I think we have that in the police discussion on the national level for sure. All of those voices are really important for moving the discussion forward.
Word up.
I think.
Word up.
So
Tracy Duran, I said hi to you, right? Yeah, I think we did say hi to Tracy Duran. All right, before we get into the uplifting story.
Oh, no, that's good. I'm really glad we have that.
Monica, if you would be so kind. Hold on. Casildo says, I think there are certain people who will always be unsatisfied, sadly. But that small portion of people are not reflective of the true grassroots organizations, in my humble opinion. Maria Trito, what's up? Well said, sir.
I mean,
well
truth about life.
said.
There's always people upset about something.
Word. Yes, Monica, if you'd be so kind. Take us to a commercial. Let us know what it is.
A free caregiver seminar will take place on Tuesday the 30th from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Enjoy motivational speaker and renowned author Loretta Vinny in a conversation called Moving Caregivers from I Give Up to I Got This. This seminar, sponsored by Age Guide, Alzheimer's Association, and AARP, will present tools that every caregiver needs to thrive with confidence. To register, I will be sharing that registration link with you all in our chat. There's a helpful and fun family event coming up on the month of December, working with great sponsors and community partners. The Neighbor Project and Aurora FEC, the Financial Empowerment Center, will provide information and more resources for free at this event. The date is December 11th, and the event will be from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. at 1 East Benton, Gallery 1904, which is the lower level. Santa will also be on hand for cool holiday photos. Health resources will be provided by our friends of the VNA Healthcare as well. Please help spread the word and come out to this great event. There will be food, a DJ, and many great vendors. For more information, visit the link that I'll be sharing with you all in our chat.
Right. Super right. Extra right. Riggedy right.
What else we got?
Okay. Please join State Representative Barbara Hernandez, Alderwoman Juany Garza, and Casildo and Ana Cuevas for a Know Your Rights workshop. Representatives from the ICIRR, Family Focus, and others. Monica mentioned this will be taking place at Sacred Heart Church, 755 Fulton Street. Candace Skirpsick, good morning to you as well, dear friend. Good to see you.
Shout out to ICIRR.
And shout out to Sandra White. Word up. All you people. Deployment, the action of bringing resources into effective action. Couldn't have said it better myself. Okay.
All right. What else we got? What do we got?
There is a
Apartment building? We want to talk gifts to the military? What do you want?
We do. Hold on. But let's do John Russell.
Let's do John Russell.
Then we'll move
let's
into the
talk
apartment.
about the nicest, most dedicated Auroran that you do not know.
There we go.
So, who you should know, because he's basically amazing, and I'm not just saying that because he gave me my first big girl job out of college. So, John Russell Day was yesterday in Aurora. He is the city's was, as of yesterday, the city's grant writer, and prior to that, he was the editor for the Beacon News for years and years and years and years and years. When John Russell started, there were still paper boys like on bikes throwing your paper, which actually was sizable and required like heaving to throw.
You need an arm for that.
Right. It was
Jordan
like
Eichelberger, what's up, baby? Good morning.
I think when John Russell, I think the game Paperboy was still like relevant when John Russell started working at the Beacon. So, and actually it was sort of a family thing. He and his wife Kathy, who passed earlier, last year, also worked at the newspaper. And so John was responsible for really directing and shaping so much of all of the news that you heard or read for just like years. And as importantly, he was also responsible for raising a generation of young reporters who all mostly eventually realized that they needed to be able to afford to eat. And so a lot of them have scattered into things other than like strict journalism as we think about it, myself included. But what made John so amazing was his dedication to this city. And it was a little known secret that whenever you interviewed to be a reporter to be added to the Beacon News staff, there was always one question that John would ask, and it was, why do you want to be a reporter? And most journalism kids, or a lot of them anyway, will respond with something like, oh, I really love to write, or something like that. But the answer that you have to get right if you were added to the staff had to be something akin to, I want to change the world. So I'm getting a little verklempt here. So not only did John have that ethos for himself, but he also raised just a generation of Aurorans who felt the same way. Okay, take it. You have to take the mic. Take the mic.
Mr. Russell he holds a great distinction. He was hired while Tom Weiser was still mayor, but during the past 8 years, he's the first grant writer the city ever had. Despite, even with his fantastic record of being a newsman, during the past 8 years, he's helped bring $17.8 million in 125 grants to the city government, as well as 20 state, national, and international awards. He said that most of those were grants between $10,000 and $50,000 for things such as parks and playgrounds, and sometimes equipment for different departments. Irvin also referred to the 38 years he spent at the Beacon. Most of that as city editor. He started out as a reporter and worked as a copy editor too. He says that during his time at the Beacon News, it really has been an honor to work with so many different people. Quote, I'm amazed at how dedicated people are who work for the city of Aurora. And according to Alderwoman Shakita Hart Burns of our 7th Ward, she said she's known him for many, many years. He's a hard worker, and whoever follows you has big shoes to fill. And I like to think that those shoes will just be retired. They'll be bronzed because you can't fill shoes like that. No. So shouts out to John Russell. Shouts out to John Russell. 8 years. $17.8 million and 125 grants. That's surgical precision.
And it's nothing. It compares nothing to all of the work that he did. The news came in the town for so long. So actually, it was really funny because I was on a webinar with like the NEA or something like that a couple months ago, trying to learn about how to get grant funding for different projects when I was down in Oswego. And then I hear a voice come on the webinar asking a question about funding for mural preservation or something like that. And I was like, I know that voice. So even, he was working up until, I'm sure, the very last minute of his day trying to do something good for Aurora.
As many of you listeners and fans of our show know, once upon a time we used to record at the corner of Broadway and Benton. And one morning, while walking with the Good Morning Aurora hoodie on, a man who I later learned was John Russell stopped me and said,
God damn it.
I heard of that. Is that you? I was like, yeah, how you doing? And I would see him every day after he parked, and I would go to where we are now. Okay. Good man.
We're going to try and get
all right.
Here.
So Casildo says John is a great person. Mad respect for him. Always helped at events with a smile when Casildo was on the Aurora Hispanic Heritage Advisory Board. Dan Barrero, I had the pleasure of working with John for 8 years. He was great to work with, and he always pitched in for events. Absolutely wonderful. Gloria Gerardo was here. Good morning to. I hope you have a nice day and weekend, and stay safe out there. Thank you very much, Gloria. John has the distinction of having 2 John Russell
That's
days.
True.
His first one was under Mayor Wisner 8 years ago.
That's true. I was at the other John Russell Proclamation Day at a bar, of course, which is where proclamations should be read. It was his retirement from the Beacon.
Damn.
So, yeah.
What day is that?
I don't know. But it was the.
We can look that up.
We can look it up.
Dan Santis is here. Good morning, Dan.
Yeah. It was the day that he left.
Dan Santis is a friend of our show. He is the general manager of Ballydoyle, located at 28 West New York Street. What is up to you, Dan Santis? Go in Ballydoyle. Check it out. Tell them that you heard about it on Good Morning Aurora. And when you go in there and walk around to the back and you see a gentleman by the name of Mark or a young lady by the name of Abby, order of Veltons. Let them know that Good Morning Aurora sent you. The time is now 8:48 a.m.
What else we got?
Peace and blessings. Y'all have a good weekend. Curtis, hit me up. I got you, big dog. That's Josue. Yeah, now, here's what I wanted to say. Nora Peterson said potentially about the Cocoa Crawl and seeing what's up. We'll check and see where everybody's at. And we'll see what's happening. Okay.
It'll be fun.
Now, we told you folks a month ago about development coming in the lot where Jake's Bagel is. Aurora City Council set to vote next week on 246 unit, $70 million apartment complex along the river, DAC Developments. Jeanette, what can you tell us about this?
That it's we're getting a cool apartment building. I mean,
Karina LaFontaine.
Correction, we're getting an apartment building.
Hold on real quick. Karina.
Okay, all right.
Good morning.
Yeah. So, okay. So this apartment building, it's right there. It's gonna be right there on Broadway. They've got new renderings of it. It's basically coming right up onto Broadway, and then on the back side of it, there will be like a pool courtyard that'll look out onto the river. They're supposed to be keeping a whole bunch of green space there. This is a weird thing that I had not heard of because I don't think I have enough money to have heard of such a feature in an apartment building. But apparently the way they've got the parking deck designed is that you will be able to park on the same level as your apartment is.
Oh, that's fly.
I guess, yeah. Like, I don't mind a couple of stairs personally, but if
Fly until you get carjacked and robbed at the same time. Damn.
Lol.
Like, I know you live right here. Keep going, fool.
Don't lose your keys, right?
Like, damn.
So, yeah.
With the TV or the Jeep, what you want, bruh?
Yeah, so this developer apparently is known for doing those kinds of fancy things in their apartment, things like tenant coffee houses, bike shops, swimming pools, blah, 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 in other towns. I really hope they don't put in a tenant coffee house, or maybe, you know what, I don't know. I don't know if we have enough places to get coffee in downtown Aurora. Maybe it's time for another one. Let's put another bar in. That's what the tenants want. They want another bar. Just, yeah. Anyway, so that's coming. It's going on the consent agenda for Tuesday's meeting, which means it will be passed. It is anticipated to pass. Technically, they could pull something from consent agenda, but so I'm in favor of it, even with the $6.7 million in incentives as part of the project, even with the $5,000 that the developer gave to the mayor's campaign. I just, it's fine.
Word up. So the Aurora City Council, 246 units, $70 million apartment complex. So let's keep going.
Let's go. So new apartments. There we go.
Quote, we're bringing a new highly amenitized building to the riverfront of Aurora. This is what we're known for. That's according to Daniel Rezko, president owner of DAC Developments. Places like Wheeling and Des Plaines are two locations where their architecture and style can be seen in their housing. Now, I like this quote here. Quote, we're trying to create an open atmosphere. It's a connection between the street and city life and the river. That's according to Adam Lavery, senior associate at Papa George Hames Partners in Chicago. Along the riverfront, developers would create that open space that Jeanette just talked about, 310 parking spaces, $6.7 million in incentives already. DAC Developments would commit about $11 million of its own equity into the project and would secure about a $50 million loan. According to the development agreement, the city would give DAC a $963,000 forgivable loan up front and about another $2 million in 2022. I love this man's writing. I love how this man writes. I love how he writes.
Shout out, Steve.
The poignancy. You're not even looking at pictures. He just paints. Your mind is a blank canvas. And he just splashes it with words, and you get you get it. So I love how he writes.
What I do think is significant about this development is when you look at the renderings, it actually is probably one of the first new it is like the first new building in a really long time in downtown Aurora. It's not a rehab, it's brand new development, and that really looks like it gets this is a city vibe, right? Because so much of the development that happens, especially further out, is very suburban looking, right? We've got all this grass around, we've got all these like things. This is like we are expanding the footprint of what downtown Aurora looks like. Right, because when you talk about this plot of land, it's sort of at the edge of the downtown core, and this will be a building that really visually in the mind of people who are walking, if you're talking to urban planners and stuff like that, will be sort of connecting what is thought of as downtown Aurora, will be sort of expanding that footprint towards River Edge Park. So it's cool. I think that's cool. I think that's a really good sign for what is happening downtown in terms of just development, property value.
Especially that stretch of Broadway.
Yeah, it's a little.
Once you pass, like literally the wall of La Quinta, it's pretty dead.
That's a little,
until River Edge Park begins.
Unless you're hanging out at the township. Shout out Bill Couching. Yeah.
Or unless you are.
It's people think of it as
their deck's not even open no more.
Jake's. At Jake's.
Yeah.
Well, it's cold. So
Facts.
I assume it'll probably open later. But
Word
yeah,
up.
I think a lot of times people don't connect in their minds how the proximity of River Edge Park to the rest of downtown. And it's because there's a lot of green space in between those. So to people it feels like, oh, that's such a walk. And the most you ever see from River Edge Park is occasionally after a concert, once everyone's a little toasty. If they're not done getting toasty, they might make the long, like what feels like a long trek down to like Ballydoyle's or something for whatever. If they see a tribute band at River Edge Park that night and they go see the tribute band that's playing at Ballydoyle's that evening, right? And so hopefully, it seems kind of silly to say this because it's still the same amount of mileage, right? Walking from one end to the other. But if it feels really developed and there's like a lot of things happening, then it feels like a shorter distance. And so developing these areas in this way where it's got a lot of visual interest will encourage more foot traffic back and forth between the downtown proper and River Edge Park.
Downtown proper, River Edge Park, and what's happening out there.
Mm-hmm.
Stay tuned for more developments on that front. Now, we will end with something that I found quite interesting as well. And I'm going to end with this. There's a man from Naperville who kind of in the realm of John Russell. There's only one John Russell, but a man in Naperville recently passed away. And he did, as with John Russell, he did the most. And it's interesting because we, in our current climate, especially politically, I don't think we see people anymore for what they have done or have stood for. And I don't think we should forget that. So I'll make this brief. The time is now 8:56 a.m. Al Benson, what up, baby? Okay. Longtime U.S. Congressman from Naperville, Harris Falwell, dead at 92. Excellent. No, not that. Scratch that. That came really wrong.
Not that he did.
No.
That's not the part we want to cut. Yeah.
Man, that was mad awkward. All right. Longtime U.S. Congressman from Naperville, Mr. Harris Falwell, recently passed at 92 years old. During a long career, first as state senator and then as a member of the U.S. House of Representatives from Naperville, Harris Falwell was known for his fiscal conservatism, which included leading a bipartisan pork busters coalition in Congress that decried excessive government spending on legislators' pet projects. According to his former chief of staff, he prepared and worked tirelessly for every vote in the House, but he was also very patriotic about his country, so he was willing to diverge with his party from time to time. He was very opposed to wasteful spending, and he was willing to take on anybody to represent the taxpayers, and it would occasionally antagonize people in his own party, close quote. I love this guy. Mr. Falwell died from complications with Alzheimer's disease on November 11th at his home, according to his wife of 66 years named Ruth. He'd been a resident of Naperville for more than half a century. Born in West Chicago, he was the son of Walter Falwell, who was at one time West Chicago's mayor. He grew up on a horse farm and graduated from West Chicago Community High School, then earned a bachelor's degree from North Central College in Naperville in 1949.
Shout out Cardinals.
A gifted baseball player, he earned a brief stint during college with the Detroit Tigers minor league affiliate in Greenville, South Carolina, and while he was in school, he and two of his brothers were members of the 1946 Fox Valley League championship baseball team from West Chicago, coached by Dad. After earning his law degree in Kent College of Law in 1952, his first professional jobs were as assistant state's attorney in DuPage County and then in private legal practice. He served from 1963 until 1977 as a Republican in the Illinois State Senate. He became known as a champion of local parks, including sponsoring legislation providing parks for special needs children and adults throughout the state. Another initiative to require developers to donate park land in communities was stymied by special interests, but resulted in Naperville City Council enacting a law requiring developers to donate land or cash to the city's park district. What a workaround. Brilliant. It continues. He was also one of only 2 Republican state senators to help support fair housing legislation in the 1960s. And he is also credited with having rewritten much of Illinois' property tax code while a state senator in the late 1960s. In 1976, he gave up his seat in the state Senate to make an ultimately unsuccessful bid in the GOP primary for the state Supreme Court from his area. I'm going to read that again, because with so much winning, that doesn't even look like a loss. In 1976, he gave up his seat in the state Senate to make an ultimately unsuccessful bid in the GOP primary for the state Supreme Court from his area. After that, he returned to private law practice in the firm of Falwell, James, and Brooks, where his clients largely were municipalities and park districts. In 1984, he ran for a seat in the U.S. House's 13th Congressional District and won. He served 7 terms in the House before retiring in 1999. He was a sponsor of 23 bills that eliminated some $2 billion in pork barrel projects. Quote, they had to defend their ideas, their requests in a hearing. That was the premise of the pork busters, to get rid of some waste, close quote. He was a gentleman, and he was good for our district. He represented us well. Wow. The whole thing, which I love about this article, which was written by a gentleman by the name of Bob Goldsboro, is that all of that was over before I even finished high school. And I think with a record like that, what the world certainly needs more of are Harris Falwells, rest in peace, and John Russells. So I think that for this weekend, I hope that you guys all have a beautiful, fun weekend. We hope you have a good time out there tonight. Just be cool, be safe. But let's look at the legacy. And let's all try to be.
Yeah, and be thinking about your legacy.
John Russell.
Like, what are you going to do?
Right.
Oh, and if any of you have decided recently to run for things, as we've been asking you to do for months and months and months, do let us know.
Yeah. If you're going to run for something, let us know. All right. So the time is now 9:02 a.m. We went a couple minutes over, but we love you. That's why we talk a lot.
You get a bonus. 2-minute bonus.
Anything you want to tell people before we go?
No. I don't think so. I'll see you tonight at Winter Lights, the most charming winter event of the year. It's all downhill from here, so go. Like, I spent so very much. I miss my days dressing up as the polar bear.
All right.
I highly recommend the polar bear costume, by the way. It's the toastiest one. It keeps you nice.
All right, guys. That's it. Have a great weekend. Take care of yourself and each other.
Adios, Aurora.